Before I start, as you always know, this is a case that's being investigated by BCI. So everything that I'm discussing is very preliminary, but we want to have a fair and impartial investigation. So that's why it's so important for BCI to get here. So I will go over the basic facts as we have them for now. But again, keep in mind it's preliminary, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. So just after 5 p.m. today, officers attempted a traffic stop in the area of Burstock Road and Freebus Avenue. At that point, the suspect, a male suspect who was driving that vehicle, refused to stop for the officers, and the officers then followed that vehicle to the 1400 block of Burstock Road. At that point, the suspect exited the vehicle and he took off on foot. Now, I want to stress, it was very clear in the video that the suspect had a firearm in his hand upon exiting this vehicle. The officer that was on foot pursuing the suspect gave multiple commands to stop running and to drop the firearm. The suspect refused to drop the firearm. The foot pursuit continued before, on the video, you see the suspect turn with the firearm in their hand. It does not appear that the suspect fired a shot, but it's very clear and obvious in the video that the suspect did point the firearm in the direction of the officer. At that point, one officer discharged their firearm several times, striking the suspect. At this point, the suspect is in non-life-threatening and stable condition, but I cannot stress enough how important it is when you are in a traffic stop and an officer pulls you over to stay in that vehicle and to listen to commands. This situation could have easily been avoided, but unfortunately, the suspect's actions forced that officer to take action because someone else could have been hurt, and thankfully, in this particular case, no one else was hurt.
Can you tell us the age of the suspect?
It's an adult male. We'll get more into it as time goes on, but I'll confirm it's an adult male.
Do you know what the traffic stop?
I don't know the nature of that. That's something that's going to come out through the course of the BCI investigation.
Has CBD interacted with this suspect before?
I can tell you that he is in our reporting system from a previous incident, but we won't get into the specifics of that right now.
Does he live back over here? Is that why he was in the area?
We have reason to believe he was trying to get to a family member's house close by, yes.
Did he pull off to the side of the road, or did he help out on one of these driveways? Do you know?
It's not super clear in the video, but once we get that out publicly, like I said, everybody will clearly be able to see what that looks like.
How difficult is it as an officer just watching these body camera videos back?
Yeah, like President Steele said, I never want to speak for the officers involved because they were the ones in that critical incident, but I can tell you as a general premise, as an officer, traffic stops are extremely stressful. And there is no such thing as a routine traffic stop. That word makes my skin crawl because this is a situation, a perfect example of why traffic stops are not routine, because people are supposed to comply and stay in the car. So these patrol officers, I mean, you see them over here guarding the scene. These guys bust their tail every day. They go from call to call, responding to the residents of Columbus. And so many times we get a rap that we don't care and we're not trying. These guys are overworked and they still come every day. They do their job and they don't complain, and they're going to continue to serve the residents. So it is a very stressful situation. I've done probably thousands of traffic stops in my career. President Steele's done thousands of traffic stops. It is one of the most stressful things we do.
Did you guys recover the firearm from the suspect?
The firearm was recovered, yes.
And then, I mean, have you talked to the officers who were involved in this at all? And if so, how are they?
I have not. Unfortunately, that is something to preserve the integrity of the investigation. We don't do that because BCI will be handling that, but I'm just thankful they're okay.
Just to confirm, you said it was an adult male, right?
Correct.
How much longer do you expect the scene to be here for?
It's a pretty active scene still, so we're going to be here for a couple hours just making sure we get every piece of evidentiary thing that we need to make sure that this is a fair, impartial, and accurate investigation.
And it seems like this crime scene is pretty big. We've got a lot of tape up here. Is that because, it went on foot? Is that what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure we don't leave any stone unturned. We want to make sure if there is any other piece of evidence that was a causative factor to what we saw, just in addition to what we saw on the video, we want to make sure we don't miss anything. So that's why the scene is so big.
There was nobody else in the car, correct?
There was another occupant in the car, but they did comply, the passenger, thankfully.
Were they just sitting in there the entire time while the suspect was on foot?
They were compliant.
And that officer who fired their weapon, can you share how many years of experience on the job, or?
Due to Marcy's Law, I don't know that we're going to get into the specifics of that just yet, but that may come out in the course of the investigation.
Do you know what the suspect's going to be charged with yet?
That I do not know.
Okay. But they're expected to recover?
Yes, they're going to survive their injuries, yes.
Non-life-threatening, correct?
Correct.
And they're at Grant.
I do not know what hospital they took him to.
How lucky is that suspect to still be alive right now?
I would say it's a blessing, right? It's a blessing anytime you're involved in a deadly force encounter with police or, frankly, anyone. I would say it's a blessing to him and his family and everyone involved. And I just want to reiterate, any narrative that's out there that is floating around saying that he did not point that firearm or he had it in a holster is categorically false. We witnessed the video ourselves, so as soon as we can get that video out publicly, we will do that so everyone can see what happened.
So when you guys are in the middle of an event like this where you're chasing a suspect on foot and they turn around and point a gun at you, are you aiming for somewhere specific on a person, or how does that work, or is it just kind of whatever you can get?
Well, we're not going to get into the specific policies, right? But we have to stop the threat, and whatever it takes to stop the threat safely, that's what we'll do. For not only the officer, the person involved, and the community. You see, it's broad daylight. This is an apartment complex with lots of people. Someone else could have been struck. Bullets do not have names. So we're going to do what we have to do to safely get everybody out of the situation.
Do you know how many times they were shot?
We don't get into the specifics of that. That is a BCI investigative thing. But again, when you see the video, that'll be evidently clear. So
Was there only one officer that chased, or was it more than one?
there was two. It was a 2-officer unit. Again, once we release all the video, it'll be more specific. But just understand that both the officers did a phenomenal job in this case, handling the situation as best they could.
And the officer did fire more than one shot, though.
Multiple shots. All right. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.